lost in the forest for weeks. I've been seeing faces in the trees, and I swear I heard that handsome man call out to me again. He calls me river, I call him the wind.
She's been holding me close, singing me to
I love the music
sleep.
also, Ty. Good job.
We cut through mountains, made
Okay.
our
Thank
way
you,
to the sea.
Ty, for the music in celebration of Native American Heritage Month. We are DES. Welcome to DES's quarterly all staff meeting. My name is Masozi Nirenda. I am the Chief of Staff to our Agency Director, Tara Smith, and I will be assisting her with today's program and once again, keeping time. This is a season for giving back and giving thanks. So thank you all for being here. I have some housekeeping notes to mention before we get started. First, we need to make you aware that this session is being recorded. And by attending the meeting, you agree to be part of the recording that will be posted as an unlisted video on YouTube and shared with DES employees. Second, this is our first all staff meeting using Teams. So you will notice that you're able to see everyone who's on today, which we love. All attendees have their video and microphones disabled. However, the chat and reactions are enabled, and you are welcome to engage in this way during the meeting. Third, you may have a better connection if you disconnect from the VPN. Next, if you're scheduled to speak today, please try and raise your virtual hand when it's time for you to join Tara on screen. This will help our hard-working event producers behind the scenes to find you and enable your camera and video more quickly. Lastly, during the Q&A, we will address questions that were pre-submitted, and we'll try to answer as many as we can that are asked during the meeting. If you have a question, please feel free to raise your virtual hand and we will offer the option to unmute and go on video to ask it. You may also put questions in the chat and we will do our best to keep up with all the comments and answer them during the Q&A section at the end of today's 1-hour meeting. Again, we're grateful you can be here to assist with our goal of informing, engaging, and connecting. And having said that, here's Tara with the welcome and director announcements and updates. Tara, hello.
Thank you, Masozi. Hi, everybody. Yeah, those were all really important announcements, but the gist of it is we're in teams. We are getting used to it. And frankly, I'm thrilled because I always wanted our Owl staff meetings to have the more interaction, right? So the chat feature, the reactions feature, those are all really fun ways to stay engaged throughout our meeting, which is only 1 hour today, everybody. So we're doing our best to, number one, listen to you, because 2 hours last time was too long and we heard you. 90 minutes before that might be the magic number, but we're trying a 1 hour meeting today because we're just trying to figure this out and get it just right for everybody. So hopefully you'll see all of the things that we want to share with you today, but in a calm way that's not rushing too much. But please bear with us if it might seem that way. So I'm going to get straight to it. The first part of this agenda is about me informing you, right? Because I think it's important that at least every quarter we have this opportunity for you to hear directly from me as your leader. What am I spending most of my time on? What am I worried about? What do I think about a lot? So I'm going to start with something we've talked about before. As you may know, the employee engagement survey. We had a big push this year, as you may remember, because I decided to set some goals for us. So first, I want to thank all of you. We had a really great response rate. Our leadership team really took to heart my ask to improve the number of employees completing the survey, because what that means is that I have a broader sense of what our employees are saying, right? The more people who are completing the survey, the more voices we're able to hear and respond to. So I want to thank LT for really pushing, and for all of you for actually taking the time to do it. So I'm giving you a round of applause. Just to remind you about what our numbers were last year. Last year, we had an 81% response rate. This year, I set a goal. In the spirit of our worst performing survey question last year, which is, I know how my agency measures success, which was very poor because frankly, we don't know how we're measuring success and we're working toward that. I decided to set a goal because let's start measuring our success. So our goal was 85%. All right, we did 81 last year. I figured we could reach 85. And does anybody know what our actual response rate was? Hopefully not yet, because I'm going to announce it here for the first time. But first, in the spirit of PSRW and big announcements, I like drum rolls. So we're going to try to ask everybody to unmute and give me a drum roll. I'm not going to say it until I hear a drum roll. Unmute if you can. Okay. There we go. Okay, good. Thank you, everybody. That was pretty good for our first attempt on Teams. So with the drum roll, I will announce that we hit 90% this year for our employee engagement survey response rate. That is, by the way, oh my gosh, I love all the reactions. I love it so much. That is, by the way, the best we've ever done. This agency's highest response rate on record was 2019, and that was 90. So thank you, everybody. I feel super proud. We set a goal, we beat our goal, and now we have to wait patiently for our results to come in. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is my first full year as a director where all of your responses will pertain directly to me and my leadership. So I will admit being just a tad bit nervous to see the results, but excited as well, because whether they're good or bad, I wanted to hear it all. It provides us a map, a plan for how we can do a better job of responding to you. So more to come on that. As you know, I think we get results in February. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong about that. I'm going to move on to the next thing that I want to highlight for you in my informing aspect of the agenda. There's really just kind of a few basic things that come to mind when I talk about what I want to inform you about. And it's pretty much always going to include, in some way or another, employee recognition. I've heard a lot of feedback. Some of you kind of hate that. Some of you like it. I'm hoping the two things equal each other out, and it's still relevant enough to most of you to indulge me in these meetings to take a little time to recognize some really extraordinary things that are happening. So on that note, one of the most extraordinary things that have happened in the last quarter around employee recognition is a particular award that this one division in this agency received by one of our BRGs. In case you missed it, I think there's a visual that you're going to go ahead and share. The Buildings and Grounds division received an award from our RAIN BRG. There's the pictures. RAIN, if you don't know, is the business resource group that focuses on LGBTQ issues. So RAIN is the Rainbow Alliance and Inclusion Network. And I just can't even find the words to explain how proud I was to see this award going to the Buildings and Grounds division. I'm so impressed by the leadership of B&G for creating a culture there where employees can show up as their authentic selves. This is setting the bar pretty high as an example of what I want to spread to every corner of this agency. So more applause, silently, unfortunately, but please applause. and your heart, if not your hands, for our wonderful leadership team at Buildings and Grounds. Yeah, I can see actual applause happening. That's fantastic. I love the reactions. So the next thing I want to talk about in this employee-centered aspect of the agenda is a couple new things that um, are just recently coming together that you've heard me talk about a little bit, but they're now actually happening. So the Employee Engagement Committee. You probably know because we've been talking about it in the newsletter, and at our last meeting, I mentioned it in an effort to ask you to apply for our Employee Engagement Committee, but now we're there. I had the pleasure of meeting with the newly formed committee just yesterday. There's about 20 of us, and we just went around the room and got to know each other a little bit, and that was fascinating. And I loved every minute of it. But their charge is to formalize this work, this aspect of employee-centered engagement and recognition is real work. It contributes to all of you feeling what I hope will become a real emotional connection to this agency and the work that we do together. So I highly value the work that this committee will be doing. It's important that we have, as we do, representation from every single aspect of this agency, and the resources to actually formalize these projects, whether it's an event or a program that focuses on employee recognition. This group is going to be busy, and I'm excited to share with you as they get to work some of the things that they're doing. So thank you to everybody who's on our first ever, I think, Employee Engagement Committee.
Sarah, you have about 3 minutes.
Okay, so boy, then I'm going to really get to the point in my last 3 minutes about, I wanted to talk a little bit about our mentorship cohort getting off the ground again. I'm very excited about that, but we'll provide you some updates by email about how those matches are going and the benefits that the mentorship program will have. So I'm going to get straight, thank you for the time check. I'm going to get straight to the part where I'm updating you on some organizational changes to the way this agency is organized. Some of you may know that presently the entire agency reports up through one deputy. That deputy position I have left vacant for this past year intentionally because I wanted the time to get to know the people doing the work, and that has served me well. And I've come to a point where I'm ready to make some changes to the way our leadership team is organized at the top of the agency. And so we're going to an approach that I've heard a lot about had previously existed in the agency. Well, there were 2 deputy directors. And historically, I've learned from quite a few people that that didn't go well at that time because it seemed like 2 kind of factions of the agency that were working against each other more than together. But I'm going to just say frankly to you, if that happened, that is a failure of leadership. That is not a failure of the structure itself. I've thought a lot about this and decided that the 2 deputy positions will play very specific roles, but have to work really closely together. And I'm going to be here to make sure that happens. So the first deputy position that will be filled is also our new Chief Operations Officer. And I will announce for the first time here also who that's going to be. I've spent the last weeks talking with him, vetting him with our HR and other colleagues around the state, and he has such a great background and great deal of experience in state government that is really going to serve this agency well. I'm really excited to welcome Maurice Perigo to our leadership team here as our deputy / Chief Operations Officer. Maurice is in LNI now. He's their AD over administrative services. And you'll be hearing from him soon. So I'll get to the next quick update about what the other deputy director is going to look like. So while Maurice is focused on the heaviest operations of the agency, the other deputy is going to be focused across the agency in a transformative viewpoint. So I'm calling this position the Chief Transformation Officer, and they will be focused on all the things that bring all these operations together, right? Our planning, strategy, culture, leadership development, customer experience, et cetera, all the good things that bring us together as an agency. So you'll see a recruitment for that position going out pretty soon. And I'm so excited for 2023 with this new leadership team in place to do the work that we do so well together. And that takes us to, I wish I could kind of pause for a moment and check in with everybody, but that's not the way these meetings are set up. So I'm going to go ahead and segue to the next section of the agenda, where Inform, Connect, Engage, where we focus on, right, Ms. Ozie, am I on track?
Yes, I was going to ask if we could play the video from Maurice.
No.
Okay, no worries.
That's gonna happen later in an email communication.
No worries. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun there, so to speak.
No, that's okay.
yes.
But stay tuned. Thank you for the preview of a video that will be coming soon from Maurice Perigo to all of you, just to introduce himself. So you'll see that in an email soon.
And yes, Tara, you're absolutely correct. We're at the Connect section, in which we are going to be introducing the We Are DES segment, starting off the contracts and procurement, the risk management team, and then finally with ETS.
Yeah, perfect. So I want to just provide again some context to this section of our meeting. So the purpose of Connect in these meetings is to provide an opportunity for everybody to understand the magnitude of work that happens across this agency. As you know, there are, I don't even know the number, 40 plus different business lines that this agency is doing at any given moment. And it's easy to get confused about all the work that DES is doing. So I've heard a lot from all of you that you want to know more about what work is happening across DES and who's doing it. And frankly, that meets my goals also of helping to bring the agency together a little bit better. So we're highlighting in every all staff meeting, we're highlighting different programs. So today, like Ms. Ozie said, the first one we're bringing to you is a little conversation with our contracts and procurement professionals, and they're going to talk about the work that they're doing around supplier diversity. This is a topic that I spend a lot of time doing in a leadership role across this state. And because of that, I work really closely with Shayna Barehand, who you see on screen now, who happens to be, in case you missed that, also a recent recipient of the Governor's Distinguished Managers Award. But I invited Shayna to be here so that she can tell you in her own words what kind of work she does and why it matters. Hi, Shayna.
Greetings. Manahu, my name is Shayna Barehand. I am from the Cold Springs Rancherina of Mono Indians near Fresno, California. I come from the Barnes family. So in 2019, I was hired and I established the Procurement Inclusion and Equity Program within Contracts and Procurement. And our goal for the state is to buy more goods and services from the Washington small, minority, and veteran businesses. We have two primary focuses. One is creating a statewide culture of procurement inclusion and equity, a PI culture. And the other is creating a pipeline of small, diverse, and veteran businesses to meet our state purchasing needs. So Tara, if it's okay, I'd like to go ahead and introduce my coworkers.
That would be great.
Great. So Anastasia, who you see pictured here, she helps us measure our results, the results of our efforts. She trains folks how to do effective outreach to small, diverse, and veteran businesses. And she also does other research regarding our state contracts. Next up is Kim Sauer, and both of these folks have been with us less than a year. She leads our effort to create a pipeline of small, diverse, and veteran businesses to meet our purchasing needs. She's creating a small business support program, and she's leading our outreach, training, and partnership program. Cheryl Mankey, who has been around procurement for many years and leading as the Procurement Innovation Project Manager, is leading the green purchasing effort, but she also shares her time with us to help navigate state procurement systems. And she's kind of our consultant in the program. I'm also going to be hiring 2 more folks in the near future. If anybody wants to learn about those positions, hit me up.
Mhm.
So if it's okay, I'm just going to give a little background on myself.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, thanks. So I was born and raised in California, mostly San Jose and Los Angeles. And I feel like I have that typical story of not ending up where I thought I would end up.
Mhm.
But I did follow my passion to drive change. Yeah, everybody's nodding their head. Like, who thinks they're going to end up in procurement? Yeah, not me. I actually started community college to become an auto mechanic. And my dream was one day to own an auto shop. And not a lot of people know this about me, but I have a learning disability, and it made school really difficult for me. Reading and writing and math was not easy for me, but I was always good at fixing problems, and I could always look at the bigger picture and how things were related. For me, going to community college was my first experience socializing really outside my nuclear community. So I didn't realize a lot about larger society. And I began to realize that I was expected to change who I was, even the way I spoke, in order to be accepted and successful. So here I am, an attorney, working really in a white male dominated space, but I'm working to change a system that was really established to disadvantage people of color. And I really want our systems to support equity and fairness, and I don't feel like it currently does. I hope to level the playing field so that small businesses can flourish, because we always say small businesses are the backbone of a robust economy, and it's good for our communities.
Thank you, Shana. You know, there are over 37,000 employees across the state who have a role in purchasing and contracting. And your efforts to reach them, help them understand the importance of supplier diversity, help them figure out how to do it. It is a huge body of work. But every single day I see from you your passion, and I hear it and I see it, and you provide leadership across the state in such a perfect way. I'm really proud to work alongside you, Shana. So
Thank you.
one of the things that I want to accomplish in these presentations about what we do across the agency is how your work connects to our bigger picture, right? We're going to be talking a lot about that in the coming year, connecting our work with our overall goals and mission. So how do you think, Shana, the work you do connects with our mission of strengthening the business of government?
Well, as you know, we're the lead procurement agency for the state. We delegate the authority for other agencies to purchase goods and services, and we also create policies that they must follow in order to retain that delegated authority. So the work I do is directly related to helping them meet their supplier diversity goals.
Right. And by helping them meet their supplier diversity goals, you're supporting the business of government, because not everybody knows how to do that, right?
Exactly.
And there's a great value to that. When our small businesses in this community are healthy and strong because they're getting contracts from the state, our communities are stronger, our economy is stronger, and there's a lot of heavy lifting and people's who you have to touch and teach to understand why that's important and how to help get us there.
Having said that,
So,
Tara, I think you just hit it right on the money in terms of summarizing exactly the hard work and the beautiful work that the contracts and procurement team are doing on behalf of the state. So thank you, Shana. And Tara, we're going to move on to I'm going to really enjoy this one because this is new to me. Risk management with Jason Seams.
great. Thank you so much, Shana. Yeah, another aspect of the work that this agency does that a lot of people don't realize. Did you know that DES is responsible for managing all risk management claims across this entire state? So all the tort claims, which if you don't know what tort is, hopefully you'll hear about that next from our risk manager, Jason Seams. But this work is really important. It's really interesting because there's all sorts of things that happen out there in the world that have to, get complicated, and they go through this small group. It's a pretty small group of staff in the risk management division whose job it is to balance the interests of that claimant and what happened with them with the interests of the state. That's a tough job. And I find it infinitely fascinating. So I've asked our state risk manager, Jason, to come on. He's the assistant director who oversees this whole operation. He's going to share in his own words a little bit about what they do and how it connects with DES's mission.
Thank you, Tara. Hey, everybody. It's nice to be with you. My name is Jason Seams. I'm the Washington State Risk Manager, and I'm going to talk quite quickly because Masozi keeps sending me messages about how far behind we are.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay. I'm going to give you a very high-level overview of what we do at the Office of Risk Management, and this is fairly cursory, but fear not. If there's something that interests you, you can always come back and do more detail on it. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully, and do a quick. All right. We have four primary business units of the Office of Risk Management. They are the claims unit, the enterprise risk management, commercial insurance, and the local government self-insurance pools. And I'm just going to talk about each one of those very briefly in turn to tell you what they do. The claims unit is overseen by Tuan Juan. He has a very long job title because he wears many hats for us. He runs our IT system that houses all the tort claims and lawsuits that come in. He also does quality assurance over the data entry and supervises all of our tort claims staff. The claims unit oversees the self-insurance liability account. And the self-insurance liability account is a big pool of money that the legislature gives us every 2 years. From that account, we pay all of the tort claims that have a legitimate compensable loss that is, that the state is liable for. We also pay out judgments and verdicts, and then pay all the legal defense costs for tort claims and lawsuits against the state. They input all of the tort claims that come in against the state of Washington, and they handle all the payments that go out when we settle a case or when there's a judgment or verdict. They send out many checks and payments. Also, they pay all of the legal defense costs to the Attorney General's office and private attorneys that defend the state in tort lawsuits. They also handle the risk management information system, which is a big IT system where we store all of the tort claims and lawsuits. We have about 80 years worth of tort claims in there, and there's a lot of data in there from which we can draw, look at trends, look at all the different sorts of claims that agencies have, and give them advice on how to reduce their risk and reduce the number of claims and lawsuits that they get. Within the claims unit, there are 5 tort and sundry claims specialists. We also have a customer service specialist position, which will be posted soon. It's vacant right now. So if you're interested in a fascinating career, watch for that posting. And then an application support specialist who handles our IT systems for us. And then also not in the claims unit, but we also have 3 investigators and 2 case managers. The investigators will go and collect the data and meet with the claimant and other parties. They'll collect police reports in order to determine what happened, if there's an accident or incident, and make an assessment as to who's to blame and who's to be compensated and resolve those cases. And then, of course, the case managers handle the lawsuits. They coordinate with the AG's office and the client agency to make sure that to shepherd those lawsuits through the system. And just as a precursor, in the state of Washington, before you can sue the state, you have to file a tort claim with the Office of Risk Management first, and the statute gives us 60 days to resolve that. And the rationale underlying that 60 days is to reduce the cost of litigation. If we can resolve those claims before they go to litigation, it saves a lot of money, saves a lot of hassle for both the claimants and for the state. And this slide is just a graphic that shows about how much we pay every year. Last year in fiscal year 22, we paid about 119 million on indemnity, and that excludes the cost of legal defense. This pie chart shows where that money went. The vast majority of our payouts are from the division or the Department of Children and Youth and Families. And then you can see DSHS, DOC, and DOT round out the top four. And then all other agencies, including DES, there's about 152, 154 different little agencies and commissions and boards. And all other agencies make up only about 11% of the payout every year. And this shows the number of tort claims we get every year. It's usually around 3,000. You'll notice there was a bit of a dip during the pandemic years. And that just shows fewer people out and about, fewer people driving, going out in the forest and recreating. So fewer accidents equals fewer tort claims. Number of claims, this is how we resolve the claims. You'll see that about 40% of them are resolved within that 60-day period by the Office of Risk Management. We delegate about a third of the claims to the Department of Transportation. They're just better situated. Many claims come from the highway construction projects. And so we work with them to do the investigation on those claims. And then about a third of them go to litigation and are handled by the AG's office. Another work unit we have is Enterprise Risk Management, Loss Prevention, and they are, their role is to reduce risk. They train the agency risk managers and do a lot of work with the agencies to help reduce the risk and actually reduce the number of tort claims that come in. And that program is run by Leslie Atkinson and Tierra Barnes. And this just shows some of the things that they do, some of their mission statement. They do a lot of hands-on work with the agencies in order to try and reduce those. I'd go into more detail, but I'm a little low on time. Another work unit we have is Commercial Insurance Unit. The statute requires that all of the commercial insurance policies for the state agencies are purchased by the Office of Risk Management. We do delegate that work to some of the agencies, some of the universities especially have kind of some unique situations and are better situated to do that. But we spend about $30 million a year on commercial insurance policies for the agencies. And we have, just as an example, on one policy, the property policy, we have about $6 billion worth of property that's covered under that single policy. And this is just a cross-section of some of the policies we purchase for the state agencies, everything from fine arts to cyber, boiler and machinery, of course, an auto policy. All of those have a fascinating story with them. And if you want us to come back and talk about any one of those policies, we have to. Some of the more interesting things we would cover the Washington State Ferry System, which, depending on how you measure, it's one of the biggest ferry systems in the world. We also cover the Tacoma Narrows Bridge and the 520 Bridge. Some of you that have lived here a long time know that the I-90 Bridge and the Hood Canal Bridge both sank at one point, and the Tacoma Narrows Bridge actually collapsed when it was first built. So we spend quite a bit of time explaining to underwriters that is very unlikely to happen again. The final program I want to talk about is the Local Government Self-Insurance Program. And this is a program by which small governments, cities, counties, things like fire districts can pool together as a single entity and purchase benefits and insurance for their employees. And it gives them an economy of scale. By coming together, there's less of an administrative burden on each individual one in purchasing their benefits, and it's cheaper because they're a bigger group. We have about 3,000 local governments and nonprofits that work with us through those pools to buy coverage. And that program is run by Shannon Stuber. She's over in Moses Lake, because most of these small towns and cities and counties are on the eastern side of the state. And this is just a sample of some of the different pools. You'll notice that a lot of them are located on the eastern side of the state, over in Ephrata and Spokane and whatnot. And it shows kind of the diversity of the different groups that come together in order to purchase insurance as a single entity. So that was the very quick cursory overview. I will try and quit sharing now.
Jason, thank you so much. I don't know if you're able to put your video on real quick so folks can see who you are. I know you had it on earlier.
Can you see me now? I think I stopped sharing.
Yeah, you stopped sharing, but I wanted you to just show your face for a minute to say hello as I kind of wrap up your piece of it. That presentation really displays the great like I said earlier, magnitude of the work and the ways, all the many ways that DES touches all things across this entire state. So I'm sure you're leaving folks with a lot of questions. If there are questions, feel free to throw them in the chat for risk management to get back to when they can. And Jason, thank you so much for pulling that together. Like, did anybody know that? I saw a lot of emojis and comments about like, wow, I think you're blowing people's minds. It's really, yeah, okay, good. I'm glad other people can see Jason. Really, really interesting work. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Jason, wow, record time. And the
Good job.
you're the
Yeah, I was
MVP
trying to
of the
get us
show.
caught back up, Ms. Sozi.
Oh, you certainly did that, sir, and I
Good job.
totally appreciate it, and your presentation and your team. Thank you so much for your hard work. Having said that, Tara, now we're moving on to ETS, more than just a laptop. That's what we're going to be discussing with Shalini. So
Yeah, I love that title that they gave themselves for their presentation. We do more than laptops. And this is another area where we heard you. We've been asking this question at ELT and in different forums to see what kind of information you want to hear about more from different areas of the agency. And ETS was the winner. They were the division that received the most questions about what do they do there. So I'm excited for our Chief Information Officer, Shalini, to share a really cool video that her team put together.
Hi,
Shalini.
everyone. Thank you, Ms. Ozzie. Thank you, Tara, for setting me up like this. We really wanted to take a moment to share what ETS does. So I actually am the Chief Information Officer of the agency. I have the honor of leading ETS or your IT team. Yep, we're the IT people, the IT guy, the IT girl. And we wanted to share this opportunity to share with you what work do we do, why do we do, how do we bring value to the agency. We are a team of enablers who stay in the background so the business of DES can run smoothly. My team has created a very quick, short presentation that you're about to see. I do have a quick request. Please refrain asking any questions until the presentation is done. So thank you for your cooperation, and James, all you.
Welcome to Enterprise Technology Solutions, also known as ETS, the Department of Enterprise Services Technology Infrastructure and Support Division. We're here to help provide the agency innovative solutions that connects people and simplifies work. We empower customer success by delivering exceptional solutions and support. And today we're going to give you a brief overview of what we do and how we work to serve you, state agencies, and the citizens of Washington State. You're probably most familiar with our IT support for you and infrastructure teams. That's who issues and supports your computer or laptop, manages our network, and is who you contact when you have technology requests. But we're more than just laptops. We have a team of 6 groups within our division: project management, business analysis, system infrastructure and support, security and records, and application development and support. In the last year, we've deployed over 60,000 patches to secure your computers and our network. We've provided support to over 450 mobile users. And as we all know, we've seen a significant increase in mobile device usage since pre-COVID. We worked to resolve over 12,000 support requests, prevented over 26 malicious cyber attacks, and completed 816 significant application support requests. We made sure that the business of DES remains seamless and that all of you can do your jobs when we transition to a mobile, hybrid work environment and culture. But how do we do it? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Hi, my name is Sarah Mollis, and I'm an IT project manager at ETS. And our project management team manages IT projects within DES. We work closely with several teams within ETS and we couldn't do it without them. You're going to hear a little bit more about their team here in this presentation as well. The internal collaboration is critical, along with creating and maintaining relationships with our customers and our project teams. It's incredibly important for us to really understand what the need is and help establish what those expectations are. We are committed to delivering project outcomes we can all be proud of here at DES.
System infrastructure and support is sort of the Swiss Army knife of IT. Our engineers help maintain the servers, network, cloud storage, and other technical infrastructure that we all use at DES to do our work. This means they need experience in a variety of technology skills, such as cloud systems, hardware, software, Windows, and Linux operating systems. But what does that mean? That means that the team is responsible for ensuring that we have servers, hardware, switches, routers, even cabling to run our systems, our business, in the office and from home online. We administer our Active Directory, M365 tenant, system security, and policies. You may recognize many of the projects we've worked on, the campus construction project, building and grounds technologies, and more.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm a business analyst at ETS. As a BA, we facilitate consultations that consist of a standard set of questions focused on understanding the business problem that the division or the program is trying to solve, understand who is impacted or involved, and understand the priority of the request. We gather business requirements with stakeholders and end users. We also create job aids, training guides, manuals, and in-person or virtual training. We practice user-centered design principles to create accessibility and usable products that meet government guidelines.
Security and Records secures and retains DES information, both physical and electronic, in accordance with state and federal standards. We write and review compliance policies, conduct security design reviews, and manage DES records retention compliance. If you see something, say something. Call or email us. We want to hear from you. Whether you have a question or concern, we're here to help prevent vulnerabilities before they become major problems or incidents. In fact, in the last year alone, we've prevented over 26 major cybersecurity attacks. We also have updated our DES e-signature policy, conducted an annual records training, and submitted our 2022 OCIO IT compliance audit.
Hello, I'm John from the development team. To help your program be more successful, we are working with you to create new modern web applications. New applications include BEARS for card key access, Tech Leasing for managing technology leases to other state agencies, and ClassTrack used to support the Learning Center. We support the Microsoft 365 suite of applications, and many of you are now using Teams for collaboration. We're always exploring other new technologies to help you work smarter. We also manage important applications such as the Learning Center that is used by over 200 government entities and 75,000 users. We support a fleet management system that manages over 7,000 state vehicles and an accounts receivable system used by DES, OFM, and WATEC finance departments. The Dev team is also working on a large initiative called One Washington, which will replace and modernize AFERS, the current state financial system. Through our help desk system, we receive and complete over 100 help desk tickets each month for application support. We love supporting DES, and we're always here for you. Thank you.
You've heard of IT Support for You. We provide the single point of contact for DES staff and DES enterprise customers the support they need. We partner with our customers, listening to their needs and providing friendly, knowledgeable, and timely responses and resolutions to their issues. On average, we resolve around 900 tickets a month, support over 450 mobile devices, and recently just completed refreshing all of the agency's laptops to the new Microsoft Surface laptops and are on a 4-year refresh cycle. Since 2020, we've replaced over 650 laptops and desktop computers. Enterprise Technology Solutions is your IT consultant and partner. We are dedicated to providing reliable customer support and innovative technology solutions to DES business units who provide services to state agencies, cities, counties, and the public. We strive to listen to our customers' business needs and develop partnerships and solutions that will support all of the consumers of DES services.
Fantastic video, ETS.
Thank you.
I see
And remember,
applause.
ETS is
Bravo.
more than just laptops.
I see we got a DJ voice as well, Tara.
So much
This
more
team.
than laptops. I just want to take a minute to acknowledge how important it is for all of you to get your voices out there, and this was a great way to do it. It's easy for us to recognize those employees that we see all the time, right? Doing the grounds and putting our vehicles on the street. There's a lot of stuff that we see DES doing, but there's so much behind the scenes work, and employees need that recognition. So thank you, Shalini, for putting this together. It was very insightful.
Thank you so much,
Thank
you all. I totally
you.
appreciate that. Now it's time for the part that I think a lot of people have been waiting for, which is the Q&A section. Please note that we are going to be putting the full question in the chat. However, for the sake of time, I'm going to be summarizing some of them, and later on, these and other questions will hopefully will be available soon in terms of posting them online. So the first question that we have is from Miranda, or Mandy, I should say, and she's asking Tara about leadership styles. Mandy, live and in color, you're on.
Hi, I just had a question about leadership. So I was asking, how is DES training its leaders? Do we have a leadership style that we have embraced as an agency, or one for our agency's culture? And do we talk about it?
Hi, Mandy. I'm so happy to see you here again. And I want to thank you for agreeing to come on screen and ask the question, because I want folks to know that there are real people asking real questions, and to have, for you and I to have this actual opportunity to ask and answer questions with everybody, I think is my ideal scenario. Not everyone wants to do it. I understand that, but I really appreciate you coming on screen to ask this really good question about leadership. And I've been thinking about this. So do we have one leadership style? No. I don't think it's a good idea for an agency of this size to subscribe to only one leadership style. I think it's more important that we know what different leaders' styles are, right? So that we can identify them and know where we need to complement them, right? For example, and across our leadership team. And I think there's different divisions who implement this in their own way or similarly to ours. But at the leadership team level, we use the Gallup Strengths Finder poll to help us identify our own strengths as leaders. So it's a strengths-based approach instead of a weakness-based approach. We've all taken that poll, and we know, for example, you might be surprised, Mandy, to learn that my strongest strength is connection. Like, who would have thought? I was that surprised by any of my strengths. But we know where all of us lie, and there's about 20 people across the leadership team, where we all lie on the spectrum of strengths, and where we might need to bring in other leaders who are missing different strengths. So that's the most important component, I think, is we're looking at our individual leadership groups across the agency. We need to know where we all lie. And there's 100 different ways to learn that. Earlier this year, I brought the leadership team together to talk about this sort of thing, to start creating a sense of team resiliency at the highest level of the agency, understand how we work together and how we could maybe work together better. And there was somebody facilitating our conversation who used a certain approach to leadership definition, and it put us on a quadrant, and we were all kind of spread across 3 quadrants, and there was one kind of glaringly missing. And so now I know that I'm looking for a leader to complement this team who has that missing assets. So and there's a lot of different ways to do that. So I really support, number one, talking about this, because we need to talk about it more. I really see this as a role that our new Chief Transformation Officer will help support and encourage across the entire agency. And I love it. Does that answer your question, Mandy? Well enough? Good.
It did. Thank you very much.
All
Thank you
right, I'll see you
both.
around.
Thank you both. With 9 minutes left, question 2 is a 2-part question. Basically, it's about lump sum payments for represented employees and bonus pays during the pandemic. John Carney and BRD submitted the question, but we also had a similar question submitted anonymously. So Tara, in terms of a response, I'll let you answer to both questions. Hopefully we'll put that in the chat. And John, thank you for being here. You're up. John, I think you're on mute.
Hi, John.
I don't believe I'm on mute. This is unfortunate.
Yeah, no,
thank you.
No, you're good.
I apologize. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
My question is, are you aware that surplus employees who managed PPE deliveries and warehouse inventory statewide did not qualify for the COVID bonuses that their work remote colleagues received? I postulate that may have some impact on employee recruitment and retention and employee engagement. Secondly, I'm unclear as when the creation of an other within a workplace has been demonstrated as an effective organizational growth tool. Please, that it cannot be that. I'm certain it cannot be. Please help me understand that we have not created an other amongst our surplus employees and that they're missing the COVID bonuses makes sense somehow.
Yeah, we are certainly not about othering in this agency. I was just talking about that sense of belonging and bringing our authentic selves being my goal across every corner of the agency. So when I hear about something like this, it really gets to me, and it's frustrating because I am aware of this, first of all. It's frustrating that a lot of times we feel like as leaders our hands are tied and we can't do anything about that. That was the legislature's approach to giving a bonus for certain employees who are covered by collective bargaining, but then you have this other group of employees who worked just as hard, and because they didn't include everyone, we can't do anything. Well, the reason that this is in my awareness and I know about this problem is because your assistant director, Mary Jane, actually brought this to me as one of her biggest concerns when she and I were talking, and she did what every leader should do in this situation, which is dig and research and look to uncover ways that we can administratively, without having to go to the legislature, without having to do a collective bargaining agreement, what authority do we have in our own agency to do something similar for those employees who were not covered? So she brought me, she did that work herself. She brought me a very specific RCW that allows for a certain amount of money for recognition purposes to be provided to individuals. So we're looking at that from the executive team level to see how we could apply that, not just in one area of the agency where Mary Jane brought it to our attention, because we know that that's a glaring example of how this administrative decision can help. But I want to make sure first that we apply that across the agency and see where else we might need to be doing that. So I'm going to ask you to stay tuned on this question, John. And thank you for bringing this to the larger audience, because I suspect we have other areas of the agency where this also needs to be closely looked at. Does that answer your question?
No, but thank you for your time, and we'll see what happens. Thank you for your time. I apologize. I will. Thank you.
No worries. I'll
Feel
follow
free to
up
reach
with
out
you,
again.
John.
We'll
I'll
follow
follow
up.
up with you to make sure that you get the answer that you're looking for.
I don't want the answer. I don't need an answer I'm looking for. I'd like to see parity for all the staff that
absolutely
did their thing.
Agreed.
And I don't qualify for any of it. I wasn't here. I was busy making hand sanitizer. But
Well, thank you
This
for your
is
for that.
service. Yeah.
this is a failure from a John Maxwell standpoint, from an encouraging the heart standpoint. I hope it gets looked into quickly, because it would resolve, I contend, some of your engagement issues. Employees don't feel
Yeah.
heard when you've hit them at all of their Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We've
I
attacked
couldn't
them
agree more,
specifically
John. I'm
there.
absolutely agreeing with you.
Thank you
Okay,
for your
and
time.
I'm promising you that it's also on my heart and mind as something we need to fix in this agency.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on screen, John, and we'll
Thank you.
follow up.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you again. And with 4 minutes left, I'm going to have Lori come on. There was a question submitted anonymously about safety and bullying in the workplace. So we figured this was an HR question, and Lori representing HR. Thank you for coming on.
HR and emergency response and safety also has some input in this. So go Kyle and Robin Herring. So the question was, my question, safety in the workplace and bullying, was the message to people, what message do people need to know? And I think primarily DES message is that we don't tolerate bullying of any kind, and that we encourage people that if you see it, report it. And if you experience, report it. And I swear I did not just get that from that ATS presentation. That too stands with this. So what supports our agency statement and helps us be able to help other people that may be experiencing this? We have adopted our respectful in the work environment policy that all employees are required to read and understand. The policy makes it clear that the agency is committed to a positive, healthy, and professional environment, and that all people, regardless of position, will be treated with respect, dignity, equity, and civility. The policy provides definitions and examples of disrespectful behavior, as well as what respectful behavior looks like. And it also breaks down areas of responsibility related to that policy. So we all are responsible for how we respond when we see bullying or experience bullying or harassment. And how can you report disrespectful or bullying behavior? We have a complaint process in place that you can find online or through the policy, but you can also just talk to your supervisor for resolutions. Schedule a meeting with your assigned HR business partner or anybody that you trust in HR, your assistant director. No complaint is too small if it means an employee doesn't feel emotionally or physically safe in the workplace. And we encourage everyone to raise issues that are of concern as soon as possible. So I hope that answered the question. And if you have more questions, please feel free to reach out to me, your assigned HR business partner.
Thank you so much, Lori. Tara, we have 2 minutes left. There was a question for Shalini in terms of creating a creative hybrid environment in terms of, pursuing that. I don't know if you wanted to go through that or go ahead with your closing with 2 minutes left in terms of our meeting time.
Yeah, I am always afraid that we're not going to have enough time to answer everybody's questions, but we do have that in writing. And I saw a couple other questions in the chat that I'm going to make sure we respond to after this meeting, like we always do. The question is a good one, and you can see it here in the chat about how we maintain a sense of creativity in a hybrid workplace. That's a challenge. A lot of things are around working remotely. So we're going to talk more about that and answer that question offline, like I said. And thank you, Anonymous, for submitting it. And that wraps up our time. Look, I did it, right? 1:59. Yeah. We did it on time. We're going to ask you, like we always do, everybody, how things went in this meeting, how we can do a better job of making this time together informative and useful for you. We want it to be worth all of your time. Thank you so much for being here. And I think it might be time for Ty to bring back the music, and then for all of us to just get back to work.
Thank you again,
Thanks,
everybody.
teams.
See you next time. Thank you, Ty.